more aggressively defensively, and we did that. And that's what we're expecting from them tonight. So it'll be very important for us to be strong with the ball.
And stay out of early foul trouble. Another big key tonight. The A's lead the Braves 2-1, fifth inning in Atlanta, and the Rams have signed wide receiver Cooper Kupp to a 3-year extension worth $80 million. At the Sports Desk, Kevin Radich, KCBS.
KCBS Sports Desk, sponsored by the Bay Area Chevy dealers. Visit BayAreaChevroletDealers.com.
Palo Alto University, addressing pressing and emerging issues through research and training in the fields of psychology and counseling. A non-profit university offering accredited bachelor's, master's, and doctoral programs. Proudly graduating a new generation of mental health professionals this spring. Learn more about Palo Alto University's specialized programs at paloaltou.edu.
O'Reilly. This is Sarah's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
Driving cross-country with 2 young children is ambitious, to say the least. Then our check engine light came on. We pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts and they tested it. Turned out it was a faulty sensor. We referred it to a great mechanic just down the street, and we were back on the road in no time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. 5X Laredo, Dayton's B100 V-Belt, one of the many parts Ranger carries. It's also the item that helped Rob carry the day. The job was on hold, deadline fast approaching, but a quick search on Grainger.com and Rob found his part. And with same-day pickup at his local branch, he and his crew got the job done, safely and on time. Get supplies and solutions for every industry with real-time product availability. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The more we learn about COVID-19, the more questions and worries we have. CalHope can help with free COVID-19 emotional support. Call 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
Our KCBS Traffic Watch continues. This update is sponsored by CalHope, and we're off to the South Bay. Here's Kim.
Freeways in the Silicon Valley have been in pretty good shape overall. It's been a bit of a struggle getting into Morgan Hill, though, because of a crash on southbound 101 just after Coyote Creek Golf Drive. For some reason, it took a very long time to clear. It is now officially clear, but you really don't start to pick up speed until you get into San Martin for that southbound 101 commute this evening. Also, new crash in Milpitas on 880 northbound. Just before Dixon Landing Road, the right lane is blocked there, slowing your ride as you head toward Fremont. Walnut Creek, we had brake lights on northbound 680 because of a crash near Red Deer. That is now on the right-hand shoulder. Still, though, slow in pockets out of Danville on northbound 680. The Caldecott Tunnel, something just happening now, slowing traffic through Oakland on eastbound 24 and northbound 13. The right bore possible stall there. Just happened. Left bore is a stall blocking the right lane, and it's already very slow. We had a stall earlier last hour, and the Posey Tube, something up there, hearing from the phone force, a crash on Harrison at 7th, so it's backing up traffic in the Posey Tube. Your next update, 5:58 on the traffic leader, KCBS. Mancini's Sleep World 6-day forecast. We are going to start to warm up tomorrow into the low to mid-90s. And on Friday is the peak of the heat. Excessive heat advisory inland, upper 90s to low 100s with a lot of widespread 80s by the bay. And then the roller coaster goes on the way down. Temperatures back off Saturday, falling into the low to mid-90s inland, and a big drop on Sunday. Most neighborhoods will just be in the 60s and 70s. Traffic and weather together on the 8th on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS. KCBS News Time 5:51. We have Tom Lippy and Jules Henderson at the KCBS Editor's Desk.
And usually at this time, we would be joined by KCBS insider Phil Matier. Phil is away this weekend, filling in his stead. Our special guest, Peter Hartlaub, culture critic for the San Francisco Chronicle. Peter, thanks for joining us in studio today. Proposition on the San Francisco ballot that would have provided $400 million in funds for muni and street safety improvements appears to be headed to defeat. While more than 63% of those who cast ballots in yesterday's election voted in favor of Prop A, The measure needed a two-thirds majority to pass. Peter, bond measures like this one in San Francisco usually pretty much a slam dunk. What happened?
Yeah, I can't name a person who's against this. There was no opposition. It's not adding money, it's just carrying over a bond that people are already paying. But I think a combination of the Chesa Boudin recall and a couple of really big projects that have nothing to do with this bond through Muni probably didn't help it.
So people were just grumpy, right? Is the theory that people come out because they're going to vote Chesa Boudin out of office, so they're just going to thumbs down to everything else?
I think a lot of motivated people who are not happy with what's going on in San Francisco came out yesterday, looked and saw Muni, money, I'm voting against it. 63% still a pretty big number, but they need 66. And it's not tracking well right now. It's not over, but it's not tracking well.
What will be lost for Muni if this does not pass?
And that's the big thing. Central Subway and the Van Ness bus line, they were super late. It was over budget, but this is all the little infrastructure stuff. This is traffic lights. It's all the Vision Zero stuff about making pedestrians safer. And the big thing that they're talking about throughout this was these new trains we're getting are run on a control system on Market Street using floppy disks still. They were going to update the floppy disks with this money. We don't have the floppy disk money if this doesn't pass.
They really don't have the floppy disk money somewhere?
You'd think they'd find it somewhere, and I wouldn't be surprised if we hear from this again. I just think the timing was horrible for this. You put it on another election cycle, and maybe they have better luck.
How big of a deal is it in San Francisco to get something like this back on the ballot?
You know, I don't think it's super easy, and I think they're going to be really selective. Part of the problem is they can say right now, we're not charging you anything extra. You were paying this, and you'll just keep paying it. Well, when they come back again, it's going to be something that people will have to look at a number, and I think that might make a difference. But I suspect they're going to be wanting to get this money again because Muni really needs help right now.
You and Heather Knight toured the Central Subway recently. Tell us about that.
We did. We got to see the Union Square station, and really I think they were thinking a lot about Prop A. They're really trying to put on a good face, and really it was in Jeffrey Tumlin, the Muni chief's spiel, that Central Subway, that was a while ago, and we've learned our lessons now. Well, they've got another problem.
Does Muni get some credit for keeping things going during the pandemic?
Absolutely. I think one thing you got to understand is that the Central Subway, it was a different leadership. I think through the pandemic, they've done a lot of little things. The bike infrastructure is a lot better. They made quick adjustments with the buses. And again, all the little things, well, that's what this bond is. It's all the little things. It's the little infrastructure things. But again, not tracking very well right now.
Thank you so much. That is San Francisco Chronicle culture critic Peter Hartlaub. Turning our attention to Money Watch, it's sponsored this time around by Personal Capital. Just because markets are uncertain doesn't mean you can't get a clear picture of your finances. Track all of your financial accounts from our free dashboard. Download the free app at personalcapital.com.
People who work for Twitter may have to hit the road to come back to work as the $44 billion deal selling the social media platform to Elon Musk goes through. And Twitter's top lawyer says, oh, it will, but she says the merger agreement does not cover remote work, so there's no guarantee Musk will allow it. Musk is getting access to Twitter's so-called fire hose of data, according to the Washington Post, that he's demanded to see how many spam accounts are on Twitter. Facebook's parent company is a leader in a new social media trend. 8 lawsuits filed over the past week against Meta Platforms accuse Facebook and Instagram of building algorithms that addict young people, causing things like eating disorders, even suicides. Meta says it has developed tools for parents to keep track of their kids' activity on Instagram and set limits. Wall Street worried about inflation. On a day, oil prices topped $122 a barrel. The Dow dropped 269 points, the Nasdaq 89, the S&P 45. Joan Doniger, Bloomberg Business for KCBS.
Hey guys, if you had a problem with your plumbing, would you wait 6 years to have it fixed? The average man waits 6 years to see a doctor about ED, impotence, or low testosterone. At Prime Male Medical, they've helped thousands of men in the Bay Area. Here's Dr. Robert Rowley.
We have virtually every medication known to man to help men.
Get your first visit, PSA and testosterone test, Doppler ultrasound, and a full year of follow-up visits for just $99. Learn more at primemalemedical.com or call 415-761-4037. That's 761-4037.
The Honest Diapers and Wipes bundle was made to give you peace of mind and one less thing to do. Good for the planet, good for your baby, and good for you to mix and match sizes in the coolest seasonal prints. Their hypoallergenic wipes are made with over 99% water and 100% plant-based cloths for all life's messes. Plus, you save 20% with every bundle and get 15% off diaper duty extras and clean products for the whole fam. Check out the Honest Diapers and Wipes bundle at honest.com and use code RADIO to save 30% off your first month's subscription.
There's something about that polished green stretching across the eight-hole that whispers, just tell them you're at lunch. Because it's not a hobby, it's a peace of mind. Let CertaPro painters bring the same tone and peace of mind to your home. Our experienced painters are here to make your next painting project as carefree as a day on the green. To get your painting project started, go to CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. License information available at CertaPro.com.
Beth Miller Rowe is the Bay Area's reverse mortgage specialist. With over 35 years experience, Beth offers a variety of reverse mortgage programs such as FHA insured home equity conversion mortgage and even jumbo reverse mortgages. Whether you own your home outright or have a loan against it, a reverse mortgage may provide financial freedom to better enjoy your retirement years. Reverse mortgages have changed so much in the last 10 years. Now is the time to call Beth at the Reverse Mortgage Group at 925-969-0380. Beth is located here in the Bay Area, offering free consultations in a friendly, professional, no-pressure atmosphere. Call Beth at 925-969-0380 or go to callbeth.net. Borrower must pay property taxes, insurance, HOA dues, live in and maintain the home. NMLS 294774/1850/831612. Licensed under the Department of Business Oversight under CRMLA. Equal housing opportunity.
After the call to cut for the latest KCBS traffic news, and Kim Vestal has more from your local Honda dealers traffic center. Kim?
Just as we figured out before the stall was in, left 4, right lane blocked, this all's clear. Eastbound 24, but it's slow from, it's slow from 580 there for that eastbound 24 commute. Northbound 13 also still pretty slow approaching the Caldecott Tunnel. Freeway traffic on 880, 580, both looking pretty good. I did mention there was a crash on Harrison at 7th, backing up traffic in the Posey Tube. I can see a lot of brake lights there. Bay Bridge metering lights are on. Slow ride into San Francisco on the upper deck, but no new incidents in either direction. Next update, 6:08 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
We've got to warm up the next couple of days. More gradual tomorrow, and then temperatures are really going to pop by Friday. Upper 90s to low 100s inland, and lots of 80s by the bay. Traffic and weather together on KCBS. Coming up,
I'm Jim Taylor, looking for a list of possible replacements for the San Francisco DA.
There are a lot of people who have reached out to my office to express interest. On Megan Goldsby at Chase Center, where a viewing party is a chance for Warriors fans to get the playoff atmosphere, even with the team on the East Coast.
And the House passes sweeping gun legislation today.
good afternoon. I'm Patty Reinfeldt.
And I'm Jeff Bell.
When you need to know, KCBS AM, KFRC FM, and HD1, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, and Odyssey Station.
6 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper in Chicago. The House passes a wide-ranging gun control package that includes raising the age limit for purchasing a semi-automatic rifle. Democrat Pramila Jayapal of Washington.
Protecting Our Kids Act is about saying no more to mass shootings. No more to children murdered in schools.
Republican Thomas Massey of Kentucky was allowed no.
We're telling 18, 19, and 20-year-olds to register for the draft. We expect you to defend us, but we're not going to give you the tools to defend yourself and your family.
For a second day, Capitol Hill lawmakers have heard emotional testimony from families and survivors of recent mass shootings. CBS's Stacey Lindler.
I left my daughter at school, and that decision will haunt me for the rest of my life.
Kimberly Rubio's 10-year-old daughter Lexi was killed in Uvalde.
We don't want you to think of Lexi as just a number. She was intelligent, compassionate, and athletic.
Mia Rio was her classmate. She survived. She says she's afraid to go back to school. An armed man arrested overnight near Justice Brett Kavanaugh's Maryland home is
reports Doctor, when the agency first received allegations against him. FBI agents were first made aware of the assaults in 2015. Nassar was arrested a year later. Nassar accuser Ashley Weisbrod says the FBI must be held accountable.
I think accountability is extremely important because, as we've seen in past and recent history, like without people being held accountable, things will just progress and get worse and worse.
Rising gas prices have a New England service station owner saying enough.
I'm Peter King. Ronald Gladue has owned his mobile station in Amherst, Massachusetts since 1973, with prices going up,
until I cannot deal with it anymore.
He's let his tanks go dry.
And I just said, I'm not going to impose this on my customers anymore. I want no part of it.
Now Gladue says he's selling out. Already has several prospective buyers.
Never regretted a minute of it, and the hardest thing I have to do is tell my customers that I can no longer do it.
The Dow today closed down 269 points. This is CBS News.
Get CBS News Radio on the Odyssey app. All the audio that matters to you is on Odyssey. News, music, sports, and podcasts. Download the Odyssey app today.
It is 6:03 at the Bay Area's news station KCBS. We're going to be a bit on a temperature roller coaster the next few days. Good evening. I'm Patty Rising.
And I'm Jeff Bell. Game 3 of the NBA Finals just about to get underway in Boston. That does not mean that Chase Center is quiet tonight. As KCBS's Megan Goldsby joins us live to report the team is hosting a watch party here at home. Megan.
And it is anything but quiet here, Jeff. I was worried you guys wouldn't even be able to hear me. There's so many people in Chase Center chanting Warriors, Warriors. The line is still streaming in. There's a whole lot of people here filling up the seats. They've got the yellow towels. They're waving them over their heads, excited for the game to begin. I talked to Marcus, who was walking into Chase Center with his family of 5.
I'm actually really excited, even though it's not like a start to here, but it's going to feel like they're here. I get to see it on the big screen and just the energy. I'm really excited for it.
This is a good chance for big families to all come to the game together without that huge price tag. I also talked to Cheryl, who brought 3 young kids.
They really love Warriors. You know, they grew up supporting the Warriors, so they really want to have fun here too.
Well, let's do the watch parties. Another one also happening Friday, by the way. They only cost $25 per ticket. You can also watch in Thrive City, that is the outside portion of the arena, for free, but you do need to register first online. The screens in both places, well, they're exponentially larger than your TV at home. And this is Matt, who drove in from Tracy. It just feels good to have the Warriors in the finals again.
Yeah, I mean, there were like dark times, you know, for a while, especially after 2019 finals run.
Reporting live at Chase Center, Megan Goldsby, KCBS.
Thank you very much, Megan. On to the election reactions from San Francisco's mayor today after the city's district attorney was recalled yesterday. KCBS's Jim Taylor hears from Mayor London Breed on the streets of San Francisco.
The mayor on a neighborhood merchant walk south of Market, taking a moment to address the recall of PA Chesapeake.
I also want to just really dispel this myth that's going on out there.
That myth that Moody's progressive policies will disappear. He sought to reform the criminal justice system, ending the use of cash bail, stopping prosecution of minors and adults, and focusing on lowering jail populations.
This does not mean that criminal justice reform in San Francisco is going anywhere. It does not mean that there will be all of a sudden a significant setback.
The mayor says the voters' message was a demand of accountability, but
sometimes accountability means community service. It is not just about law and order and tough on crime and locking people up and throwing away the key. That's not what this is about.
It's her job to appoint a replacement. Is there a list?
I wouldn't say that I necessarily have a list. I would say that there are a lot of people who have reached out to my office to express interest.
Whoever she appoints will face voters in the general election. With the mayor on the streets of San Francisco, Jim Taylor, KCBS.
Meanwhile, in San Jose, politics, the mayoral